Welcome to Midview High School in Grafton, Ohio, and we're making in our own way a little bit of Lorain County basketball history right now as we have the world premiere of Lorain County basketball on YouTube. Lorain County Sports Network just came into existence as an outreach of an extension of the WOBL, WDLW Sports Department for football season. It went so well, we said, hey, let's go inside and do this some more. And we're starting that season off here tonight at Midview in a non-conference game where the Midview Middies, who won their first game in the DeFranco tournament on Saturday, will take on the Oberlin Phoenix, who welcome back head coach Kurt Russell after a year off. We just finished up the JV game that the Midview Middies handled easily. Final score there is 55-20. But this is now the Slimans of Amherst Game of the Week. Slimans of Amherst, where friends send their friends. And our Coach's Corner gives us an opportunity to get a little preview of what's happening in tonight's game. And as I mentioned, Oberlin's head coach Kurt Russell had a year hiatus. And we're going to talk to him about what that entailed and how his year went and get him back on the court tonight as our Coach's Corner starts right now here on the Lorain County Sports Network. It's world premiere night here for Lorain County High School Hoops on the Lorain County Sports Network. Let's get started with, I tell you, at least the nicest dressed coach we're going to run into this year is Oberlin coach Kurt Russell. Get a few minutes. But, Coach, let's make sure our audience knows you were not coaching last year. Tell us a little synopsis, a little highlight of how you spent your past year.
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having me. So last year, I was honored to be the 2022 National Teacher of the Year. And so I had the opportunity to travel the nation, speaking about the good work that we are doing as educators.
Now, how did that work out for you? Did you really, really miss the coaching, or was it kind of an opportunity to kind of refresh, reset, and get back at it this year?
You know what, really, I think it's twofold. I missed the coaching, I missed the competition, I really missed the kids. But it was also opportunity for me to grow and to learn and to develop skills that I never thought I had.
And it's easy when you put the program in the hands of a state champion last year, right? To take care of stuff for you.
Yeah.
But let's talk about this year's team. What is the basis, the kind of the crux of your team this year? What are you building around?
Well, first of all, we have such fine young men at Oberlin. They work hard. They are dedicated. We are a very young team, very inexperienced. And so we just really working on making sure we understand the process of winning, hard work, dedication, being team-oriented. And that's what we are working on. We are striving to get better each day.
And you talk about getting better. I know things didn't start exactly the way you wanted to game one, but you have a long history of bringing teams along to where they want to be in February.
Yeah.
So as you get into a pretty good non-conference opponent with Midview, what are you looking to accomplish tonight? What do you want to see the kids improve on?
You know, first of all, Midview is an excellent team, excellent program. We're just trying to get better, give ourselves an opportunity in the fourth quarter to see if we could pull out victory tonight. So we're looking for growth. Last Saturday, we didn't play too well. We didn't shoot the ball well. We turned the ball over many times. So we're just trying to cut down on the turnovers, see if we can make a couple shots. And like I said earlier, let's see if we can take it to the fourth quarter.
When you talk about being a young team, let's start with some of the older guys. Who are the leaders on this year's team?
Well, we have a senior in the name of Isaac Shaheed. Isaac is a senior forward who works hard every day, a strong player. We also have a couple juniors, Julian Anderson, along with a sophomore, and Corey Freeman, who started some games last year. And so we're looking for those three to be our leaders.
And of course, you were not only gone a year, but it's early in the year. What do you know about Midview? What are the challenges they present to a team like yours?
You know what? Midview is always well coached, always well balanced, a bigger team than what we are. They run great offensive sets. So we just have to be disciplined tonight, know our keys, know our matchup. And like I said, let's see what we can do to take this game into the fourth.
Well, Coach, welcome back, and welcome to the Lorain County Sports Network. Happy to have you on here. It's going to be Oberlin and Midview tipping off in just a few minutes. Stay tuned to the Lorain County Sports Network.
start and you guys really close strong in the second half. What's the key going to be tonight to get that fast start you're looking for?
Yeah, we definitely got to come out to a fast.
All right, welcome into the Great Lake Basketball Coach's Corner, train with the best. Here with Coach Jim Brnik of Midview, going ahead of tonight's game. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. So I know last game in your opener, you wanted to get off to a quicker start, and you guys really closed strong in the second half. What's the key going to be tonight to get that fast start you're looking for?
Yeah, we definitely got to come out to a faster start. I think just settle our nerves down. You know, first game, I think we were really amped up. It's hard to really do anything offensively with how amped up we were. So hopefully that second half we kind of build off it and come out strong tonight.
Yeah, and I'm sure the home crowd had a lot to do with maybe a lot of the nerves. I know it was a very jam-packed environment, especially for the DeFranco tournament. So definitely looking forward to see what it's like tonight. There's a lot of new faces on both sides, whether you look at Oberlin's or your squads. How do you guys go about practicing and preparing for something like that with so many new faces in their lineup as well?
Yeah, you know, we got to start back at square one. We got to just keep teaching and reteaching. We do have 7 seniors on the roster, so that helps. Now, not a ton of them have varsity experience, but just some of them have been in the program, been through it. We also got some new guys, so some like guys like David Moore and Drew DeFranco. Some of our leaders are helping them along the way.
Yeah, and you mentioned those names. Those are some names that I wanted to talk more specifically about. I know 15 points in the second half right there from David Moore was huge, and then the free throws closing out by those other 2 names you mentioned. What do they bring to this offense and also with leadership roles on the team?
Yeah, David's our point guard. David's a 2-year starter for us. We need him to score the basketball for us to be good. He's one of the guys we have who can come downhill a little bit. He could shoot it. He's a talented kid. And then Drew, also a 2-year starter for us. He's probably our best shooter that we have. So we're excited that he finally got going there in the second half after struggling in the first half. And then Ethan Albert just made some 2 huge plays defensively by taking a charge, getting a steal, and then knocking down those two free throws. So big plays by those 3 seniors that we needed down the stretch.
Definitely. So with this being our first ever stream game of high school basketball, what's something you think that will show up on there, maybe that doesn't show up on when we do radio broadcasts and viewers are listening? What's something that will stand out, you think, in the video broadcast?
Yeah, I think how hard both teams are going to play. I think Kurt Russell does an excellent job with Oberlin. I think they play really hard, good brand of basketball, fun brand, and we got to try to match their intensity. So I hope being able to see that will really help.
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and best of luck tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, here we are at Midview High School, ready to get the Lorain County Sports Network version of the season started. And our Coach's Corner going to be brought to you all year long by our friends at Jay Valadez. Jay Valadez is a certified AAU coach, trained with the best. The Coach's Corner with my partner Max Drummond, getting a chance to talk to Midview head coach Jim Brnik. And we're going to talk about getting set for the game. We're going to take a quick break. I got to address a technical issue here, so stay with us, and we'll be right back on the Lorain County Sports Network. All right, glad to have you along here. We've got about 5 minutes of warm-ups left, and of course, PA announcer will have our introductions and the national anthem and anything else that the Midview Middies have. Of course, Midview has already hosted a big day of high school basketball a couple of days ago with the DeFranco Showcase that happens every year, and part of that was what we're looking at right in front of us as the Midview Middies warm up. It's now the Troy DeFranco Court. So there was a lot of emotion in the Saturday game. And I know Max Drummond, my partner, you bring you in here to talk about your conversation with Coach Brnik, was that they started a little slow, maybe a little bit caught up in some of the emotion of opening day, right?
Yeah, it definitely seemed that way because he even said it after the game. They couldn't even seem to dribble the ball right, or that they were trying to make the extra pass when it didn't need to be made. So definitely just remaining calm and not letting the emotion of the crowd, especially that place, it was electric in here throughout the whole day Saturday. So that's definitely going to be a focus of theirs throughout the first half, is just playing at their pace and starting how they want to start.
And one of the other things we're noticing from the JV game, I mentioned Midview easily handled Oberlin with a score of 55-20, and a game where they really pulled away in the second half. But also we'll note that of the 15 members on the Midview varsity roster, 6 of those played significant minutes in the JV game. So we'll be looking at Midview having a 9 or less rotation. Meanwhile, in Oberlin's opening season opening loss to Open Door, they had 11 different players actually score in that contest. So they put a lot of guys on the court. Let's talk about some of the other keys to tonight's game, Max, as our keys of the game brought to you by Buckeye Community Bank. Today and tomorrow, your partner for growth.
Absolutely. So jumping into Midview, since they are the home team, feeding off of this crowd and doing so in a positive way is going to have to be something they do. Like I said, dictate their pace early and move from there with limiting turnovers. That was a problem that set them behind in that game early, and I know if they had just slowed down a bit and taken what the defense was giving them, they would have been a lot better off in that first half. And then not settling for shots, going and getting the good shot, making sure you have the open look so you're not forcing anything. And then over on the Oberlin side, you alluded to it, a balanced scoring effort. Get a lot of guys involved because there are so many guys playing in that rotation. A lot of young guys as well, since they lost so many seniors. Their top 3 scorers last season were seniors. So making sure everybody's acclimated because they have conference play coming up very soon. So they got to kind of get a lot of reps under their belt. So
right, and obviously this non-conference, you try to get some good matchups that get some quality minutes in for everybody. And looking at the schedules coming up, as I mentioned, Midview came out on Saturday, had a 1-point win over Keystone, and next they'll be playing on Friday night, hosting Fairview, which we were just at Fairview on Friday night for Firelands, and they kind of really, a little bit of a surprise, or maybe the coach was sandbagging us a little bit there, but Fairview has definitely a lot of offensive power that Midview will be going against on another non-conference matchup on Friday. They will start conference play when they travel to Amherst a week from this Friday on the 15th. Meanwhile, for Oberlin, this is their last tune-up before conference play starts, as on Friday night they'll be traveling down to Wellington to open up Lorain County League play for the Oberlin Phoenix. Mentioned having Coach Kurt Russell back after a year's absence. What a great honor to be the National Teacher of the Year. That's really something special, but also another adjustment coming back in and a different set of players. Obviously, a whole other group has graduated since Coach Russell left. Got a couple of guys they're bringing in, but we were talking to Oberlin's coach Kurt Russell before the game and talked about only having 2 freshmen in the program this year, which is why Garrett Morgan brought over a team to play Midview's freshmen in the start of this triple header tonight. So that's an issue that we haven't seen in a while for Oberlin to not have the numbers coming into 9th grade. And as far as our injury and inactive report tonight, thankfully not a lot of injuries this early in the year, but our inactive report brought to you by Illyria Jewelry and Repair, treating customers like family, and we're going to be missing at least one person, right, tonight, Max?
That's right. Over on the Oberlin Phoenix side, Joe Holt, he's going to be missing from action tonight as he has an illness at the moment, so he will be inactive for tonight's game.
And Joe was not in the scoring column on Saturday, so something that sometimes you're looking to make up points from a previous game when someone's out like that, so possibly Joe is his second game missing with being ill, but we wish him the best and getting back on the court as quickly as he can as we're getting ready for tonight's tip-off in just a few minutes here. We're at Midview High School on the Lorain County Sports Network. Happy to have you guys along here for the inaugural game of our Lorain County Sports Network lineup. And we will be having games every Tuesday night, I will say, with the exception of the day after Christmas. We'll take that Tuesday off. There won't be a lot of competition going on that night in the high school genre. And the next Tuesday, we're going to be at Columbia for Lorain County League action. Right now, the national anthem. Midview, one of the larger venues in Lorain County sports. It seems a little bit on the light side crowd-wise, but I think that's because it's maybe a chilly, wet night outside. People said, hey, we'll stay home and watch this one on YouTube, and we're glad to have you along in that national anthem brought to you by Rich Resendez. Rich Resendez for Lorain County Sheriff in 2024. As we're getting ready for opening tip-off, let's run down your starting lineups, which are brought to you by Smitty's Place. Smitty's Place, where friends meet. Let's start with the Oberlin Phoenix. The visitors tonight are going to start at guard. They're going to go with a sophomore. You heard Coach Russell mention Corey Freeman. He had 5 points in their opening game on Saturday. He'll also be in the backcourt with Isaiah Jones-Smith. He's one of the few seniors on this team, and Isaiah Jones-Smith had 6 points in the opener. And at the post will be Julian Anderson-Gaines. Gaines came out with 8 points and was the team leader in points in their opening game loss to Open Door on Saturday. Carmelo Williams is also a starter. He's another sophomore out there. And then down on the post with Anderson Gaines will be number 24, Isaac Shaheed. Meanwhile, for the Midview Middies, coming off that opening win over Keystone, they're going to be led on the court by 6'3" senior David Moore. He'll be number 3 out there. You're going to hear from him, see him a lot tonight. He had 19 points and 6 rebounds in that opening game. Drew DeFancro, he's a 5'10" senior guard. He'll be getting as much attention as David Moore will. And number 5 out there had 12 points in the opening game. Ethan Elbert ended up being the hero down the stretch for the Midview Middies. He's a 6'5" senior. He had 5 points with a couple crucial free throws late in the game to seal the win against Keystone. Other starters down below on the post will be 6'4" senior Steve Komar. Komar came out with 11 points and 7 rebounds against Keystone, and also Bryson Hicks rounding out the starting lineup. He's a 6'4" senior for the Midview Middies. Getting ready to get started here. Officials taking their spots on the court. Michael D'Alessio to your left. Ryan Schumacher is going to be off to your right, and tossing the ball up will be James Hassel for the officials on the floor tonight. Floor looks beautiful, redone, and I said with the Troy DeFranco signature emblem there on both sides of the court, both in front of the Midview bench as well as right in front of our broadcast booth on the opposite side of the court. Max, we're ready to go. Happy to have you along. Edwin Varina's here. Michael Allison on the camera here on the Lorain County Sports Network. The ball's up. Tips kind of missed and then garnered in by Midview to have the first possession as Bryson Hicks tosses it on the left side. This is David Moore. Back up top. Elbert back to Moore. Hicks, Midview, trying to be patient, move the ball around. This time Hicks down on the right block, trying to make a move into the lane. Little hook shot, no good. Battle for the rebound, and it comes off to Carmelo Williams for Oberlin as they'll get their first possession of this game.
You're right there. Great job getting the ball over half court in transition there.
I love the all red, pretty much, uniforms by Oberlin, and then a couple of guys have the red T-shirts on underneath as well. This is Isaiah Jones-Smith from the corner, and going to get nothing. And again, another battle for the rebound. And both missed shots coming down with teammates from both teams getting after it. This one comes up a held ball, so since the opening tip went to Midview, alternate possession has it stay with Oberlin. 7:13 to go, still no score. The ball's bounced off in the corner, but good defense by Drew DeFranco creates a turnover, and Midview's going to get the ball, get a chance to get on the board first. This is David Moore bringing it across the timeline. He's up against Isaiah Jones-Smith. Pass on the right side goes off to DeFranco. Now back to the top of the key to Moore. Moore being patient, dribbles back out to the volleyball line. Midview working it around, looking for Moore on the left block. It's not there. Back out, this is Hicks at the top of the key. There's another running hook shot underneath by Komar, no good. Ball's battled for right in front of the Oberlin bench, goes out of bounds, will stay with Midview.
Yeah, and so far, Midview's doing a great job moving without the ball. That's very unselfish play, trying to get yourself open there by the Middies so far.
Both teams, though, with 78 seconds into this game and no score, that's going to change right here because David Moore got himself open. Nice inbounds pass from Ethan Elbert to get the first score of the game.
Yeah, now they're putting on this press, trying to test Oberlin early. They do manage to get across them.
Tough spot when you catch it right over the line because you can't go backwards there, but Oberlin manages to get it down. This is on the right side, going to be Isaiah Jones-Smith, his second attempt at three. That one doesn't go anywhere either. Rebounded by Elbert, and here comes Midview back the other way, led by Moore to Hicks, and now DeFranco for three from the left side, no good. Ball ping-ponged around off the backboard, and David Moore comes away with it for Midview to keep the possession alive. Elbert going to take a three-pointer from the top of the key, and the big guy drops one right away, 5-0 Midview.
Yeah, he did a great job, and that was even with Carmelo Williams closing out on him.
5:53 to go, first quarter. Oberlin still trying to get their first points on the board here. They struggled a little bit offensively on Friday as well. Might have been a step there by Shahid, but no call. Oberlin still working it in. And a whistle, and we're going to get our first foul of the game. And to remind you that there is a new rule this year. No more 1-and-1s. We're going to count team fouls by the quarter instead of by the half. So each quarter, if either team gets to the fifth foul, their opponent will start shooting 2 free throws. And so far, what we've seen, it's been a pretty good rule change to keep the games moving. Oberlin still trying to work it around that Midview defense. And there's DeFranco knocking the ball loose, getting his second forced turnover of the game. And as he's moving up the court, Julian Anderson-Gaines knocks it out of bounds. Midview will reset and get the ball in their backcourt. 5:27 to go, first quarter.
It'll be interesting to see how long Midview keeps up this pressure for, not only in the front court, but when Oberlin's on their half of the court.
Buzzer sounds, and a substitution for Oberlin is number 2, Sunil Green. He's a senior guard coming in off the bench. First substitution of the game for either team. Albert's already hit a 3. This is DeFranco now from the same spot Albert hit one from, and DeFranco said, anything you can do, I can do just as well, teammate. And it's 8-0 Midview early in this game. And now DeFranco, the third time he's created a turnover. Moore going to the basket on the break, and he gets fouled hard by Julian Anderson-Gaines.
Yeah, great job there being with active hands. I mean, this press, it's giving a lot of problems right now to the Phoenix.
And you talked before the game with Coach Brabenick about getting the ball in David Moore's hands more often, and they've done a nice job of actually spreading the ball around, but getting it to Moore where they need him. And his first free throw of the game is David Moore's third point of the game. 9-0. Midview up early, 5:08 to go, first quarter. Second free throw spotted up and good, so that makes it an even 10-0 for Midview. They're getting that little better start that they wanted after the offense was a little sluggish. And here's DeFranco with his 4th forced turnover of the first half. That quick pass to Moore doesn't go, but right there to bang it back in is Steve Komar for Midview, and that's going to draw a timeout from Coach Kurt Russell of the Oberlin Phoenix. It's a 30-second timeout. We'll take 30 seconds to let you know who some of our sponsors here. We'll be right back on the Lorain County Sports Network. Back here at Midview High School, Oberlin's Kurt Russell takes a timeout to get things settled down as they're down 12-0 and still facing a lot of pressure from the Midview defense, trying to get on the board here to get the game started for Oberlin. 12-0, 4:39 to go, first quarter. Non-conference game at Midview, Lorain County League, Oberlin against Southwestern Conference opponent Midview. And that was an opportunity for Isaiah Jones-Smith trying to create some offense with the drive, but when he kicked it back out, there was nobody there. Goes out of bounds, back to Midview, and the turnovers are really starting to pile up for Oberlin. This is David Moore bringing it across to the right side, right in front of the Oberlin bench, out top to Hicks. Left side to Elbert, gets it back to a streaking David Moore. He twists his body just perfectly to take it off the left glass, and that's 6 points already for Moore, 14-0 Midview. This is DeFranco's number 5 out there. He's already forcing numerous turnovers and a couple of steals himself. Ball gets loose again, but as Ethan Elbert picks it up, his feet couldn't stop in time, so he'll actually technically get charged for a travel, but let's keep the ball with Oberlin. 4:02 now in the first quarter.
Right there. Moore showing, DeFranco showing exactly what he's bringing, even if it's not in scoring. That defense is fantastic.
Julian Anderson Gaines gets the Oberlin Phoenix on the board. Their first points of the game. It's a three-pointer. So that's a way to quickly get back in the action. 14-3 now, Midview. We're under 4 minutes, first quarter. Just a nice inbound inlet pass to Komar. Coming, good movement by the Midview offense. Komar lays it right up, and a couple back-to-back layups by Midview. That makes it easy. High shooting percentages for the Middies. Oberlin has at least broken the ice offensively here. See if they can keep that up. This time Moore is putting pressure on Sunil Green, dribbling on the left side, and he's going to get called for a hack on that one. Second team foul of the game and of the quarter for Midview.
Yeah, and that'll be something to keep an eye on the remainder of this game with this aggressive defensive play in a smaller rotation. Could they get in foul trouble early? We'll see.
This is Oberlin trying to work it around. Anderson Gaines again from the right side. This time it's a two-pointer, and he's got all the points for Oberlin so far. It's now 16-5. Midview up over Oberlin, 3:14 to go first quarter. David Moore is going to pull up and launch at three. That one's no good. Pulled off on the rebound by Corey Freeman, one of those sophomores that they've got in the lineup out there. Oberlin looking to get some points back on the board and narrow down this lead if they can. Here's Anderson Gaines. Looked like he hopped with both feet, but no call as he goes to the left elbow. No good. Out of bounds. Going to stay with Oberlin.
There's a close one there, and I mean, could have gone either way. Hicks or Wyndham right there, trying to get after that loose ball.
So one of the other new rules is the 4 spots on the court where they're inbounding from, unless it's knocked out of bounds, and that's why Oberlin took that ball out of bounds on the baseline, way in the corner. Midview staying in that zone. Ball's loose on the floor, and DeFranco picks it up again. Boy, his defense has been just unbelievable so far in the first quarter.
My goodness.
Creating havoc for the Oberlin offense, and he's going to say, I can add some offense here. That three-pointer's no good. Komar with the rebound, puts it back up, no good. Rebound for Oberlin comes down to Isaiah Jones-Smith. They go the other way quickly. That's a way to beat defensive pressure. But he runs into the pressure right at the top of the key, and as the ball gets tied up in the hands of Jack Sean Wyndham, he's going to end up getting fouled, and that's going to be the third foul on Midview here in the first quarter. First one on Komar.
Already seeing Oberlin dip into a lot of their bench here, and dealing with this press, they're probably dealing with a lot of fatigue over there right now.
Oberlin inbounds. Anderson Gaines doing a lot for the offense so far, but this now is Corey Freeman dribbling on the left side. They work it down, further down the left side. It gets intercepted by David Moore on the return pass, and here comes Midview. Elbert down the lane, ships off the block from Oberlin and avoid a charge. The shot doesn't go in though, but Midview keeps the rebound. That one's a short three-pointer by Moore, and the rebound garnered by Julian Anderson Gaines, and Oberlin comes back the other way. And again, Midview's defense creating all kinds of havoc. This time Oberlin's going to keep it. It definitely disrupted the momentum they wanted to try to gain with that kind of partial fast break. Still 16-5. We're under 2 minutes to go first quarter. Down in the corner is Augustus Green in the game now, and this is Anderson Gaines again trying to work down to the block and get the ball tied up. Good defense by Bryson Hicks. It's already the second held ball we've had this quarter, so Midview's going to get the turnover here again. David Moore is a dribbler, bringing it up the court. He's the leading scorer for Midview. He's got 6 tonight. This is Steve Komar way up top. Now shoots it underneath Hicks and kind of gets the close talker from Seinfeld, right? As Anderson Gaines came in and got right in his ear. A little too close for comfort. He got called for the foul. It looks like they're going to call that a shooting foul. That Hicks was on his way up, so they're going to send Bryson Hicks to the line for a couple of free throws there.
And what a great pass there by Komar, the big man out from the three-point line. Got in there very quickly, and Oberlin's defense couldn't react fast enough without fouling. Great job there.
And also, like you said, not only from the three-point line, but with a defender in front of him. So it's not like he was left alone and just shoot it down there. He had to get it past his guy. But like you said, used the height for the big guy to make it work. First free throw is good, so it's now 17-5 Oberlin with 1:28 to go in the first quarter. Line left, Hicks set up. That one's a little short, then bounced out of bounds, and going to say it went off a Komar last, so Oberlin will get the ball. Trailing by 12, trying to eat into this lead. Trailing by 12, not a big deal early in any type of basketball game. The fact that Oberlin's only put 5 points on the board is an issue, especially because they only scored a 38 in their opening game, opener of the season against Open Door. Oberlin extending that zone just enough to get the ball loose, and David Moore goes to the hole with authority. The slam dunk brought to you by Steve Lawson of Russell Real Estate Services. Selling or buying your next home? Consider a top-performing realtor, Steve Lawson, as that was a top-performing David Moore to put Midview up 19-5, and they've got the ball back after a short Oberlin possession. This is Moore again. He's made it from all angles so far this quarter.
Demanding isolation now.
And that one's going to be inside the three-point arc. He goes down after the shot. No call on that one. The referee was kind of right in front of him to his left. I might have thought there was a little bit of an acting job to try to get that foul call. Latest sub in for Midview is number 45, Tyler Davis. He's a 6-foot junior. Tyler Davis, one of those 6 guys who did have significant time in the JV game. There's another turnover by Oberlin right into the hands of Hicks. He brings it down to the foul line, kicks it back to Elbert past the three-point arc. No good. Komar brings down the rebound and resets to the top of the key. They don't have David Moore on the court right now, but Ethan Elbert just hit his second three-pointer of the quarter. He's got 6, and all of a sudden it's a 17-point lead, 22-5, Midview up over Oberlin. They're trying to get some points here before the quarter ends. That blocked by Elbert, recovered by Oberlin and off on the left side for a last-second three-pointer that's way off by Green. Comes down to Elbert, gets the rebound to end the quarter, and after one, it's Midview 22 and Oberlin 5, and we'll be back with quarter number 2 on the Lorain County Sports Network. Midview coach Jim Brnik said he wanted to have a quicker start than they had on Saturday's season opener against Keystone, and I think he got exactly what he needed. After the first 80 seconds or so were scoreless, it's been all Midview as they have racked up a 22-5 lead here on the Lorain County Sports Network. Middies up over Oberlin. Oberlin, all 5 of their points from Julian Anderson Gaines. He had a three-pointer and then a regular jump shot, and that's all the offense that Oberlin has had to muster. Good news for them is they'll start the second half with the ball. John Guzik along here on the Lorain County Sports Network with Max Drummond. Happy to have you with us on our world premiere night. Oberlin working the ball around. This is going to be another turnover as that ball's thrown into the backcourt. tracked down by Corey Freeman, but too late. Midview coming out here in the second quarter with this is going to be Drew DeFranco. He's number 5 right in front of you. Ethan Elbert coming over to inbound the ball. Also out there for them is Brennan Newton. That's his first time on the court. And, of course, David Moore, number 3, their leading scorer. And Steve Komar, one of the other starters, also on the court for Midview as they work the ball around, try to get a bounce pass down to Moore. It hits the baseline before he can corral it. And not a lot of turnovers for Midview so far. Oberlin's got to find a way to take advantage of that. For Oberlin, that was Isaac Shahid who started with the ball. Now coming into the forecourt is Anderson Gaines and going to the hoop with Ethan Elbert trying to block it from behind, but got some body on his back as Anderson Gaines went up for the layup. Shot's no good, but Anderson Gaines will make the first trip to the free throw line for Oberlin in this game. He'll get 2 shots here as we get just early on in the second quarter.
And when the offense has been able to successfully get across half court and kind of get into the formations and the sets they want, he has been the spark plug so far. So I expect to see a lot more going through Anderson Gaines throughout the night.
Also out there, number 1 is Drew Walter. I mentioned 24, Isaac Shahid. Number 10 is Isaiah Jones-Smith. And Corey Freeman, number 5, as Julian Anderson Gaines hits the second of 2 free throws. He has all 6 of Oberlin's points. Fortunately for the Phoenix, Midview has 22 points together. Komar to the line and dishes it off. Now Midview doing a really good job of moving the ball. Moore over to DeFranco in the corner for 3, and he drops his second 3 of the game. 6 points for Drew DeFranco, and it's now a 19-point advantage for Midview. Their offense doesn't seem to be letting up here early minutes of the second quarter. Oberlin's got to find a way to create some offense here. This is Shahid working it down, recovers the loose ball, no good. Rebound Moore for Midview, and the Middies come back the other direction quickly. All kinds of trouble with the ball there for Brennan Newton, but official's going to rule that Midview going to keep it. Meanwhile, Drew Walter's going to take a break for Oberlin as Carmelo Williams, a sophomore, comes back in. One of the starters for Oberlin back on the court. Midview with the ball, working it around. David Moore way out by the big, well, it looks like a W on our side, but it is a blue M for Midview as we're on opposite court side here. Deep 3 on the right side for DeFranco. That one's no good. Anderson Gaines garners the rebound for Oberlin, and the Phoenix come back the other way. Quickly down the right side, this is Isaac Shahid. To the foul line is Carmelo Williams. That one's off, and David Moore has yet another rebound, brings it up into the court with Brennan Newton on the right side. That misses everything, and rebound by Shahid, and here comes Oberlin. Getting a little hectic out there for both teams in the last minute or so. And here's DeFranco with yet another steal, and to the hoop with a basket. DeFranco has either had steals or generated turnovers with his pressure at least 6 times here in the first half.
Absolutely a high-energy player.
This is Anderson Gaines on the line. That would have been 2. It's no good. Komar with the rebound. It's harassed a little bit, and then Isaiah Jones-Smith knocks it out of bounds, so Midview will keep it. But you can see Oberlin trying to create a little bit more energy on the deep offensive rebounding side. And we're going to get a timeout here at Midview with 5:48 to go in the first half. It's the Midview Middies 27 and Oberlin 6 as the Phoenix take a 60-second timeout. We'll be back in 60 here on the Lorain County Sports Network. John Guzik with you along with Max Drummond here on the Lorain County Sports Network. Next to Edwin Vereen, producing and directing everything tonight. And Michael Allison on the camera, bringing you the video here on the Lorain County Sports Network, part of the WOBL WDLW sports team. We will be off the air as far as high school basketball is this Friday because of the specials that go on the radio station. But so you'll want to be listening to WOBL and WDLW this weekend for sure. Tomorrow night, big girls game on WDLW will be Amherst at Avon. This one, it's Midview 27, Oberlin 6, and there's a rare turnover by the Midview Middies. Oberlin trying to put some pressure back on the other direction and working into the lane. That one's going to be off the glass and no good, but David Moore, after going for the rebound, knocked it out of bounds, so Oberlin will keep it. As Isaiah Jones-Smith, I think he just got a little bit, lost control of the ball as he was trying to go up for the shot. It was a little bit errant.
Yeah, so we see Oberlin use a little bit of the half-court press there, trying to create some pressure and more transition play there.
Sunil Green is in and inbounding for Oberlin. Gets it out to Anderson Gaines. Guarded closely at that spot by Brendan Lucy. Anderson Gaines gets it back and now getting harassed by Komar. He takes the ball away and gets it to DeFranco, who cuts across the middle of the court as he comes across the timeline, bounces it off to David Moore. Catch and return to Moore at the top of the key, guarded closely by Corey Freeman. Midview working around the outside. Again, seeing some, I think it looks like extra steps up here, but no call on Moore on that one. That time it's Brennan Newton trying to shot, and that's no good. It's Oberlin comes back the other way and trying to push the tempo. This is Carmelo Williams going to the left side of the lane, hits the deck as he released the ball. No call, no points. And DeFranco quickly back the other way, bounces off of Shahid's leg, though, as he tried to come over and help on defense. And Midview will keep this one. 4:42 to go, first half here at Midview.
Yeah, and we'll definitely see how no transition play here, but Midview, if they can't create as many turnovers, that might leave a gap for the Phoenix to be able to cut into this lead a little bit.
Jack Sean Wyndham is number 21 in the red. It just reported in as Carmelo Williams takes a seat. And that time, DeFranco catches the pass and steps on the sideline, so Oberlin's going to get the ball. 4:35 now, first half. Only 1 point this quarter we thought Oberlin was having a tough time scoring in the first quarter when they only got 5. They've only got 1 here, and we're almost halfway through the second quarter. And Midview has another steal and another quick, fast break the other way, finished by DeFranco. And DeFranco has 10 already. Boy, he's created a lot of offense. He has just been a terror on defense.
That he has, and when he has decided to take the shots on offense, he's been so efficient as well.
David Moore is going to get called for a foul on Midview. That's, again, just the first foul of the second quarter. No, actually, on the board, they gave the foul to Brendan Lucy. Either way, first team foul of the second quarter. With the new rules here, the team fouls reset at the end of each quarter. Oberlin trying to work it into Anderson Gaines, working down the right side of the block. Ball's knocked loose. He gains it back, now fires it off the opposite side. And now they find an open Corey Freeman for a three-pointer attempt. That's no good. Guess what? David Moore's got another rebound. And Oberlin now has their first team foul of the second quarter. That one's going to be on Anderson Gaines. It should be his second. Team first of the quarter. Ethan Elbert is 10 coming back on the court. And Bryson Hicks is number 32. Those are both starters for Midview. So they have all 5 of their starters out there with Moore, Elbert, and this is DeFranco trying to get the pass. Gets harassed on the sideline by Drew Walter, but recovers in time. Gets it back to Hicks, and now Moore dribbling out by that big M. Franco on the left, back to Moore, top of the key, working it. Right side corner to Elbert. He's already hit a couple of threes. Moore's going to try a deep three. One's off the front of the rim, no good. DeFranco tracks down the rebound on the left side. Gets it back out to Moore, way out by half court. 3:22 to go, 29-6. The quick inbound pass down the lane goes to Komar, who lays it right in. Beautiful look by David Moore. 6 points for Komar, 31-6 now. Midview's lead.
Yeah, not just with the rebounding, but also we've talked about multiple times now with the passing from the perimeter inside. That height is really becoming an advantage now for Midview.
Ball knocked loose by Komar, picked up by DeFranco. Midview's defense has been just spot on, and there's Ethan Elbert. Ethan Elbert only had 5 points in the first game. He has 9 already in this half, as it's now a 34-6 lead for Midview. Oberlin trying to do whatever they can to generate some offense, and as Drew Walter tried to bounce a pass across the lane, hits Ethan Elbert in the legs, goes out of bounds, and Oberlin will keep it as Augustus Green checks back into the game for Oberlin number 3. Inbound pass comes to Walter, has to fight through 2 Midview Middies just so they get that one. But they do find open green in the corner. Three-pointer, no good. Shooting is just not going well for Oberlin so far tonight. But they did manage to garner the offensive rebound. Keep it alive here with 2:22 to go before the half. Walter at the foul line decides to take it. Gets it blocked by DeFranco as he came across. I think DeFranco was looking to adjust his defensive position and just stuck his arm up and said, hey, I can block this as well. Midview gets another chance here as we're getting down to the 2-minute mark. Try to entry pass to Komar, harassed by Shahid. Elbert picks it up on the left side, and as he goes up to take the shot, he's going to get fouled by Corey Freeman, coming across trying to help. And we're going to send Elbert back to the line for 2 shots.
And Coach Jim Brnik for Midview, he expected a very physical game so far. And I'd say that's definitely what we've had to this point. Even with the scoring, how it's going, you could definitely see a lot of scrapping for the ball underneath.
I'd say Oberlin doesn't quite have the height they've had the last couple of years out there, and they're a little younger than they used to, but trying to create some offense has been their biggest burden so far, with only 6 points in this game, and Ethan Elbert by himself has 11. And it's now 36-6, a 30-point lead here in the first half. Passes off on the right-hand side to Shahid. That shot's no good. David Moore with a rebound. How many times have we said that? Great look, an entry pass down to Hicks, running the court, getting the easy layup, getting rewarded for his hard work, getting him down the court. 3 points for Hicks. We're going to get to that 35-point running clock spot lately. Oh, but there, that's going to help. Augustus Green drains a 3. His first shot has gone down the hole in this game, makes it 38-9. Elbert takes the pass and then tries to drive the lane, takes it back out to Moore. Moore, no-look pass over to Hicks, who kind of hooks over to his left hand and drops it in. Hicks has 5 points now. We're back out to a 31-point lead as we come down to the 1-minute mark of the first half. Walter at the foul line, kicks it back out left side. That's Corey Freeman in the corner. Or no, not Freeman, I'm sorry. That's Neil Green. Bobbled the ball, and as he bobbled it, bounced on the sideline right in front of the Midview bench. So officials got to call that one for sure. Midview bringing it up. We're just under a minute to go. First half here at Midview High School. 40-9 is what Midview's up. Oberlin 5 points in the first quarter, only 4 points so far in this second quarter. Again, I'm seeing Moore's foot slide there. No call. Misses the shot. Hicks gets the rebound. And on the second shot, Augustus Green coming the other way, gets it ahead to Isaiah Jones-Smith. And Isaiah Jones-Smith has his first 2 of the game. 35 seconds to go, 40-11 now. Got Oberlin offense in the double digits at least here for the first half. Quick entry pass down into Hicks. Going to try that left-hand hook again. And drops it.
Yeah, right there. He noticed the size disadvantage down low, and he just called for the ball immediately. Made Oberlin pay.
Well, as much as you might even practice defending on the block on that, you're not usually doing that against a left-handed player. And he's able to create that left-handed hook, and DeFranco's able to knock the ball loose. Going to try for one more points this half, and he does with 5 seconds to go. DeFranco drops another 2 after he gets the pass back from Moore. Shahid takes a 3-pointer, and then they're going to count it. Good for Oberlin. Get some more points up there. Isaac Shahid makes his first basket of the first half, and that brings our first half to a close here at Midview with the Middies up 44-14. I guess everything we talked about, keys of the game, and Midview wanted to get out to a better start, and Oberlin struggled a little bit on offense. I don't think anyone really saw a 30-point halftime difference coming here tonight.
No, not at all. And I mean, they were just clicking on offense, not settling for shots, working the ball around the perimeter and getting themselves open. And then in transition, I mean, with that many turnovers, you're bound to hit a few of them, but they've hit almost all of them, it feels like.
Jeff Allison of Health Markets Insurance brings you the Lorain County Sports Network halftime show. We're going to get into that, run down some stats, have some other little featurettes to talk about as we get ready for the second half here at Midview. Jeff Allison asks if you're uninsured, enroll today with Jeff Allison in Amherst. Here in Grafton, it's Midview 44. Oberlin 14 at halftime with more to come. So stick around here on the Lorain County Sports Network. Halftime here at Midview. Hey, nice to have all the new equipment too here as we're working our way through everything we have on here. So appreciate everyone who's been a part of this first season of the Lorain County Sports Network. 10 weeks of high school football went pretty well, and so here we are getting the basketball season started with a game of the week every Tuesday here on YouTube. So make sure you like and subscribe, bookmark, whatever you got to do for this URL, and we'll be back every Tuesday evening next week coming to you from Columbia. So this week we've got a lot of space up here, Max Drummond, as we've got the kind of the press box basically at Midview High School, a la more like a football stadium. Next week at Columbia, they really take advantage of that smaller gymnasium and try to get the crowd to really help intimidate the opposing team. So we might be a little more shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow this week, but so far so good for you tonight?
Oh yeah, it's been a great time, and it's been awesome. Everybody here has been so kind, hospitable. Coach Jim Brnik is very welcoming here, and it's a beautiful court, I might add, as well. I remember seeing the pictures over the summer, and it just blew me away, especially all the extra space going towards the stage in that direction. So, yeah.
And everybody at Midview's in a lot better mood when you're up by 30 at halftime. And stick around, because at the end of the game, we'll have not only our shooting star of the game, a rebound report, and our post-game show. We'll name our Hoop Tech player of the game. Lots of things to cover as we go through. Let's talk right now about some of the stats that made up the first half, as it is Midview 44 and Oberlin 14 here at halftime. And the stats brought to you by Alan Januzzi, CPA, because it's all about the numbers. What numbers do you want us to know about today here, Max?
Well, the biggest number that stands out in this point of the game at halftime, I mean, we have Midview's defensive effort forcing double-digit turnovers of Oberlin in that first half. I mean, whether it was in the full court press, whether it was intercepting passing lanes, I mean, they were able to do it in a number of ways. Then even down low, getting a couple blocked shots. So their defense has been really effective, really energetic to this point. And I think that also starts, we talked a lot about their height. And whether it is the guards getting some rebounds, David Moore, like he said he felt like a broken record, I'm sure, with how many he was able to pick up. And then Steve Komar, he picked up 4 offensive rebounds in that first half, keeping possessions alive, getting second chance points, which led to a lot of kicking it out for maybe some three-pointers. Ethan Elbert, 3 of 3 from downtown, and Drew DeFranco as well, shooting 2 of 2 from 3. So that led to a really effective scoring output from Midview, as Drew DeFranco was our first half leading scorer with 12 points there for Midview.
Yeah, so lots going on. Like you said, DeFranco with creating a lot of the defensive pressure that resulted in turnovers, had a few steals of his own. And running down the score to start with, the visiting Oberlin Phoenix, who totaled 14 points, just 5 in the first quarter and 9 in the second quarter, most of those coming in the final minute, actually, of that second quarter. Augustus Green had a three-pointer there. Isaiah Jones-Smith has 2. And Isaac Shaheed hit a three-pointer that counted from the left side right as the buzzer sounded. The leading scorer for the Oberlin Phoenix has been Julian Anderson Gaines. He's got a three-pointer, a two-pointer, and made one of his 2 free throws for a total of 6 points for Oberlin. For Midview, a very balanced first half. 22 points in the first quarter, 22 points in the second quarter, gives them 44 at the half. Leading scorer for them is, like I said, Drew DeFranco at 2 threes, 3 two-pointers, and 12 points in all. He was followed in scoring by Ethan Albert, who dropped 3 three-pointers and then added a couple free throws. He has 11 in the first quarter. David Moore, 3 two-pointers and a couple free throws. He has 8. Steve Komar ends up with 6. They were all 3 of them were little left-handed hooks coming right in the middle of the lane. Nicely done. And Bryson Hicks, has 7 points for the Midview Middies, to total 44 here at the half. Also want to mention to you Gary Tollett, one of the owners of the radio station, with his wife Renee, is over at Brookside High School tonight. The PA announcer there, as he doesn't have enough to do during the week. And he reports to us that the Brookside Cardinals are trailing North Olmsted tonight in their non-conference matchup over there. North Olmsted up 32-20 in Sheffield Village. Here in Grafton, it's Midview 44 and Oberlin 14. And when we come back after this break, we'll have the second half action, see what the Oberlin offense can create here and try to get things a little closer. So stick around here on the Lorain County Sports Network. getting ready for second half action in Midview. I want to take a moment to recognize a loss for the Lorain County sports world in the past week or so is Dick Hirschbaum passed away on November 30th. He was 75 years old, and there's so many people around this area who know the name Dick Hirschbaum, including my brother-in-law, Vince Piccolomini, was the starting quarterback of the only undefeated team in North Ridgeville football history. When they went 10-0, his coach was Dick Hirschbaum. Dick ended up being a coach at Illyria from 1998 to 2004, and then that's when he retired from teaching and coaching, and he was quickly picked up by that same Brookside school we were just talking about, and ended up being the athletic director at Brookside High School for a long time. He was also involved in a lot of stuff with the Ohio High School Athletic Association, Lorain County Athletic Administrators. Just did so much for high school sports, literally a lifetime of doing things to promote high school sports throughout an entire region. And he wasn't even from this area. He was born in Washington, D.C., grew up outside another area, but did a lot here in Lorain County. So our best wishes to Dick. His wife of 52 years, I believe it was, has his loss, and our condolences to all his survivors. Back to the action here in Midview. John Guzik along with Max Drummond as Midview's trying to get on the board quickly. That's Ethan Elbert missing, rolls off the rim, fight for the rebound, comes off to the left side to DeFranco, who tries a three-pointer and drops it to get scoring started, and Bryson Hicks hit the deck there on the baseline and stayed down for a little bit, so officials are going to stop, make sure he's okay. Looks like he's going to be able to walk it off.
Yeah, and a great job there. Just more effort on the boards by him, Bryson Hicks there, as well as Steve Comar in that first half, and they're picking right up where they left off in that standpoint.
Yeah, Midview did come out with their starting lineup in the second half, but Hicks is going to sit down, and Jacob Gregory is number 33 now in for the Middies. For Oberlin getting started here in the second half, that's Isaac Shaheed with the ball. He's hit that three-pointer at the end of the first half. They need every point they can get right now. Carmelo Williams out the top of the key, drops it back to Corey Freeman, who dribbles around the left side and hands it off to Isaiah Jones-Smith. Gets a pick from Anderson Gaines and tries a three-pointer off the glass. I don't care if he called bank or not. It still counts for three for Oberlin and makes it 47-17.
Yeah, great job there. The open space was there and took advantage of it, letting it fly.
5 points for Jones-Smith. Midview back out there. You see a little more energy and pressure by the Oberlin defense. Gets the ball down on the entry pass. A beautiful block coming off it by Jones-Smith. Knocks the ball away from behind. Midview's going to keep it, but that's a statement from Oberlin. Says, hey, we're out here to play. We know we're down by a lot, but still a lot of basketball left here. 47-17, 6:45 in the third quarter. Midview working around the outside, looking for that entry pass. This is Comar, back out to DeFranco, top of the key to David Moore. Ethan Elbert, he's hitting threes all day. That one didn't hit anything, but Comar's there for the putback, and he's got 8 points.
Another great effort down there, down on the boards. I mean, Ethan Elbert, I don't know how he's getting so much space there. He nailed all three in the first half, so his first miss from downtown.
Well, scouting report coming in, he only had 5 in that first quarter, and of course, you stereotype those tall guys and say they're not the outside shooters. He comes in and drops 3 of them and had more points in the first quarter than he had in the whole first game. So things change rapidly early in the season. Here's Oberlin keeping the ball. DeFranco harassing Freeman as he gets it down on the block to Anderson Gaines, knocked down by Comar, and then as they fight for the ball, it goes off of the arm of Jacob Gregory. So Oberlin will keep the ball here. 6:08 to go, third quarter.
And Oberlin hasn't had many plays like this out of the baseline. It was interested to see what play they might have had drawn up.
Anderson Gaines drives into the key, kicks it back out, this time to Williams. Shaheed works down the left side, stopped by Elbert, gets it into Anderson Gaines, working in the lane again, kicks it out again to Williams. This time to driving the lane and dumping it off. And the shot is blocked by DeFranco. How's that for the shortest guy on the court, I think, from the guard standpoint, is 2 blocks from Midview. And the Middies are back attacking on offense. Elbert with the floater from the left side, no good. Comar put back, no good. And as he puts it back up, he gets hacked by Carmelo Williams on that one.
My goodness, Comar already up, in my unofficial count here, up to 7 offensive rebounds in this game. He's just controlling it no matter which side they're on.
So you think he's trying to miss the shot so he can build up that offensive Didn't we see him with a Cavs guy like 20 years ago or something like that?
Get close to that double-double, right?
But what we're seeing is Oberlin has those right intentions. You know, they're hustling. They're not getting that initial positioning on the rebounding, and that's what Midview's doing much better at. And kind of that more senior-laden team doing a better job, and that's why the rebounds are really starting to pile up for Midview, especially on the offensive side. Second shot for Komar is no good. It's 1 of 2, so we're now at 50-17. 5.5 to go. Third quarter. Oberlin trying to get some more points up there. So 33-point margin right now. If it becomes 35, we're going to go to a running clock, and this game will proceed very quickly. Isaac Shahid trying to change that, but no good off the front of the rim and rebounded by DeFranco from Midview. So a basket here for the Middies will generate a running clock, and it won't stop running until and unless the Oberlin Phoenix can get the lead down under 30 points, and DeFranco's going to try to make it happen right there, and he does. Wow. DeFranco now with 18 points on the game, a couple three-pointers in this quarter, and we are now in officially running clock situation in this game. And I don't know that either team really wants to be in this situation. It's probably a good rule, especially the second half of the year, but first part of the year, one, you didn't expect Oberlin to be able to not only give up 53 points this quickly, but only score 17. But you want minutes out there, especially if you're the Phoenix and a young team. This clock will keep running. And Shahid's going to get called for moving his feet there as he tried to work around Ethan Albert. So another turnover for the Phoenix. 4:22 now. Again, clock running in the third quarter.
Yeah, and that pressure from Midview, even if they aren't stealing the ball or coming away with an official steal, even if they hit it out of bounds or cause a travel like that, I mean, it's in the heads of these Phoenix players, you can tell, because even those safe passes, they don't feel that way. It might be causing some hesitation out there.
You know, you go into halftime with a 30-point lead, you realize, hey, a lot can happen. There's a lot of basketball left. When you play the first half of the third quarter and all of a sudden it's in a running clock, I think we get to the point where both teams are kind of like taking their time a little bit, knowing that clock's running. And that time is good defense by Oberlin as they tied up Elbert trying to come across the key right below the line. And with the alternating possession arrow, they'll get the ball back. Chance to try to break into this lead. Again, they got to get it under 30 for the clock to go back to regular timing rules. And Anderson Gaines isn't going to help there. Elbert came down with the ball, and DeFranco tried to help him out, but he was actually out of bounds when it touched him. So ball out of bounds off of Midview. The rebound stays with the Oberlin Phoenix. David Moore goes up high to intercept that inbounds pass. Gives it to Komar, back to Moore, over to DeFranco, over to Moore, goes over the top, and drops it in. David Moore's first 2 points of the second half puts him in the double digits. He has 10 now, 55-17 Midview. Anderson Gaines working in the key, puts the ball up, no good. Rebound Komar, Midview again, another chance, and unfortunately, just by kind of natural way you kind of got tied up there, Anderson Gaines is going to get the foul on that one. First foul, or second foul of the third quarter for Oberlin. But with the clock running, it's very unlikely we're going to get into any type of bonus situation the rest of the way here.
Man, in Midview's starters, even at this point in the game, the ball did not touch the ground on that previous offensive possession when they were in transition. I mean, 3 different guys touched it before the eventual lob, almost alley-oop, if you will.
And you see that at every level, but we've seen many games at the high school level where they come out and they have that great passing, but then it kind of goes away at halftime. Midview, that's not the case today. Another great working it around. David Moore gets his own rebound, puts it back up. He has 12, 57-17. It's now pushed out to a 40-point lead as we're under 2 minutes to go third quarter. I'll be getting home early tonight, huh?
Something like that.
Well, maybe we'll spend a few more minutes talking to some of the Midview coaching staff and players. Another turnover forced by the defense of the Midview Middies in the key. Midview quickly down the other way, and this is DeFranco in the corner, and he drops another 3. DeFranco with 21 points here, and still in the third quarter, a minute and a half to go. 60-17. Corey Williams trying to create something. And that's Corey Freeman, I'm sorry, and that comes off the glass to a Midview rebound. David Moore to bring it across the timeline, be a little bit more direct. Still working it around and working down the baseline. Turnaround jumper, a 5-footer, no good. Rebound by Walter for Oberlin. Coming down to the final minute of the third quarter already. This running clock. Gotta imagine, unless things offensively just don't go well for Oberlin at all, this will be one of the very rare situations where we end up with a running clock situation. And a little sloppy there by Midview's David Morris. Shoots the ball out of bounds, and another turnover gives it back to Oberlin. And again, clock running as the subs come on and off the court. So we're down to 30 seconds here, and Oberlin's going to try to get some points here before the buzzer sounds on this quarter.
And I liked what we saw earlier when they were able to work it around the wing and work it inside out and get some more openings down low. We'll see if they try to go back to that. I know the three-pointers are what feel like will help them in this situation, but just working the offense, as
10
I'm sure Kurt
seconds to
Russell
go.
wants.
Third quarter, trying to get something on the board before the other quarter. Walter turns, spins in right block, fence off the glass. Very nicely done. Drew Walter with his first 2 points of the game. That's going to end the third quarter with the score, Midview 60 and Oberlin 19. So we'll have running clock when we come back for the fourth quarter here on the Lorain County Sports Network. Back here at Midview High School, I'm John Guzik along with Max Drummond. Here we've got Midview 60, Oberlin 19. We mentioned before the game started that 6 of the 15 players for Midview also had significant time in the JV game, but you're allowed 5 quarters a night. So I think we're going to see a lot of those JV players get some varsity time here. Question is, with a 41-point lead, can Oberlin take advantage of that and break this down under 30 and get us back to regular timing rules? I don't know, because I'm sure Midview's offense is going to be very, well, there's a first turnover to start the half, or start the quarter. So Oberlin going to try to take advantage of that, as we're seeing a lot of newer faces on the court for Midview. I see Braden Newton out there. He's number 11. 12 is his brother Brennan Newton, who's only a freshman. He's against Augustus Green right now. Augustus gets it down to Walters, scored the points to end the third quarter, but misses that one. Rebound comes off to the older Newton, and into the floor court is Midview. This is Zaire Young on the right side, back out to the top to Brennan Newton, and off to the left to the other Newton. And as they try to get it back to the first Newton we mentioned, it gets taken away by Corey Freeman. Gets it down, but another turnover by Oberlin. Bad ball handling there. And trying to run the length of the court is Braden Newton, no good. Rebound, still battled for, comes out to Sunil Green for Oberlin, gets it ahead into the forecourt. Entry pass down into the lane, was trying to get it to Jack Sean Wyndham, and he gets fouled as he tries to pick the ball up and get a pass back outside. So play will stop, but the clock does not. First foul of the fourth quarter against Midview. First foul of the game against Zaire Young. Inbounds pass comes down to Jack Sean Wyndham. Oberlin trying to get some offense going. This is Corey Freeman. He's one of their sophomore starters out there, looking to get some more offense going. He has not scored yet today. Drew Walter takes it back outside. Short jumper from the right side off of Augustus Green is no good. Rebound Midview. Coming back the other way is Zaire Young, going to the hoop, no good. Rebound Walter for Oberlin, trying to go back in the other direction. Loses the ball to Braden Newton, and then tied up by Walter and rolling around on the floor. That was a close call. You roll like that, you can get called for traveling, but it was tied up immediately, so they'll go to the alternating possession arrow and give it to Oberlin. 60-19 is the score here. Midview up with 5:47 to go in the game, as we're moving along quickly under these running clock rules. Only 8:15. Here's Freeman working it on the left side over to Augustus Green. Try to get it out to Walter. I don't know if he knew it was intended for him, but he tracks it back down near half court, works it back to the lane, kicks it back outside the green. No shot there, but here's Freeman trying a three-pointer, no good. Ball's on the floor, picked up eventually. That's Zaire Young for Midview, bringing it into the front court. Gets it ahead to Brennan Newton. In and out, back to Newton, and top of the key to Young. This is Shea Williams dribbling out front. Midview working it around pretty far from the basket, but in no hurry with their offense. Going to be very patient. We're under 5 minutes to go in this game. Now right in front of the Midview bench, the Middies play catch back and forth. This is Williams trying to drive the lane and gets bumped as he tried to pick the ball up. Foul's going to be on Corey Freeman. That should be his second team foul of the quarter on Oberlin. Clock continues to run. Midview gets the ball in underneath. This is entry pass to Braden Newton, the junior. Spins underneath the basket, puts it up, rolls it over the rim, and gets fouled in the process. He's going to make it 62-19 as Newton gets his first 2 points of the game and get to go to the line. See if he can complete the traditional three-point play.
And talk about a great cut underneath. I mean, he slid right along the baseline and positioned himself perfectly for that pass.
Free throw is no good. Keeps the score at 62-19, but Shea Williams battling in the backcourt. Now, you don't see that too much when you have a 43-point lead, as the defense applying pressure right down at the block, but kind of a younger guy is trying to impress the coach, a natural reaction off a free throw rebound.
Taking advantage of that playing time on the varsity level.
Yeah, they don't care about the score. I want to impress the coach. How about Corey Freeman? Generates some offense for himself there. His first 2 points of the game makes it 62-21. Oberlin going to go back to work on looking for some more offense. They only had 38 points in that first game. I'm sorry, 48 points in the first game against Open Door. Only putting up 21 so far tonight as Midview loses the ball out of bounds. Come back this way. Oberlin has to open up Lorain County League play this Friday. They'll be at Wellington. And then next Tuesday, you'll see Wellington here on the Lorain County Sports Network, as we'll be in Columbia Station for that game. Oberlin getting a chance to generate some more offense. This time it's Augustus Green going to the basket and getting fouled on his way up. He'll go to the line for two. 2:55. Clock is still moving here, even with the free throws. Again, running clock rules with a 35-point lead. And now it's still a 40-point lead as he makes the first of two. One of those rules at the Ohio high school level has only been in for maybe 4 or 5 years now. Don't see it used too often. Green eyes the second one and gets it. So he has 5 points on the day, 62-23. Last 2:22 of this game here from Midview High School. Shea Williams trying to play catch with Tyler Davis on a give and go. Pass a little low and gets bounced off his legs. So Oberlin will come back. Chance to put some more points up there.
I like the idea of the bounce pass there, but it was such a tight window to pass in. Didn't end up working out for him, though.
Entry pass comes down to Brian Grooms. We haven't seen him yet so far in the game. He's a senior post player. We've gathered it in and tried to get some help out there. Missed his teammate, goes out of bounds. Another Oberlin turnover, and Midview pretty much run the clock. One thing I will mention about this game, both coaches, such class guys. I mentioned before the game, Kurt Russell is going to always be the best dressed coach probably in Lorain County by far. Had a chance to do one of the Midview scrimmages from an officiating standpoint a couple of weeks ago over at Westlake as Tyler Davis gets his first 2 points of the game. First 2 points of the season, I believe, from at the varsity level. Midview JV did very well too. If you're just joining us, Midview's JV put up a 55-20 win over the Oberlin JV before the game started. That also ended up being a 35-point margin when it was all said and done, but that one didn't get to much of a running clock situation like this one did. That's one of the guys who's not on our roster. We don't have a 22 on our roster. He just took that shot. We'll find that out. This one out in the corner to Ihab Abu Hamda. He misses that one. Tipped around. Tried a shot by Augustus Green. No good. This time it's Jack Sean Wyndham coming down for it, and Shea Williams gets a hand on it from behind to create a held ball situation and give it back to Midview. And we're under 30 seconds, so Middies have a chance just to run the clock out here in this game. I believe the 22 for Oberlin is going to be Meta Azmit, who's a freshman and played on the JV. Trying to get him some varsity court experience here for a couple of minutes. 10 seconds to go as this one's going to wrap up. Stick around, we'll have our player of the game. Get a chance to interview some of the Midview Middies, including Coach Brnik, and tell you all about the stats that made this one what it was today. As the Midview Middies move to 2-0 on the year, both of them non-conference play, with the final score being Midview 64, Oberlin 23. That's our final here from Grafton. But like I said, we invite you to stick around and stay with us as we've got a lot more to do in our post-game show coming up here in just a few minutes. As the post-game show is brought to you by Peace, Love, and Little Donuts. Feed your inner hippie in Avon. So stick around for that on the Lorain County Sports Network. Well, it went quickly here for our world premiere of high school basketball on the Lorain County Sports Network from Midview. Middies made quick work of the Oberlin Phoenix as Oberlin really had trouble finding their offense all night long. Only 5 points in the first quarter. They were held scoreless for most of the first half of the first quarter. And it was just all Midview from there. Ended up being 64-23, the final score, and pretty much consistent for Midview throughout all 4 quarters, 22 in each of the first 2 quarters, and then a total of 20 in each quarter of the final 2. Even with the running clock, they were still able to put up the 64 points. Running down the scoring first, we'll start with the Oberlin Phoenix. You go to Drew Walter, who's a sophomore. He had 1 basket for 2 points. Augustus Green had a 3-pointer and both of his free throws. He ends up with 5. Corey Freeman got a basket there in the 4th quarter to get on the scoreboard with 2. Isaiah Jones hit a 2-pointer in the first half, a 3-pointer in the second half, gets a total of 5 points. Julian Anderson Gaines was pretty much all the offense for Oberlin. Actually did have all 5 of the first quarter points for the Phoenix, finishes with 6. And Isaac Shaheed has 3 with that deep 3-pointer he hit at the buzzer to end the half. So that's a total of 23 points for Oberlin. Looking at the Midview Middies, start with their big star, David Moore, the senior guard. He ends up with 12 points. Nice steady night from him. He makes 5 from the field, both of his free throws. High point man going to be Drew DeFranco for sure. He ends up with 5 3-pointers and 3 2-pointers, 21 points total for the senior guard there. Ethan Elbert came out hitting 3-pointers left and right. 11 points all in the first half, 3 of them from 3-point range, plus a couple of free throws. Brennan Newton got on the board late in the game. He put up a basket, got 2 points. Steve Komar, one of the starters for the Midview Middies, now averaging 10 points a game. I can do the math on that one quick because he scored 11 in the first game against Keystone. He has 9 tonight. He hit 4 field goals plus 1 of his 2 free throws. Bryson Hicks ends up with 7 points with 3 2-pointers plus his free throw. And then the last 2 points put in by junior Tyler Davis, who came in off the bench late, one of those JV call-ups for the Midview Middies to round out the scoring. 64 for Midview, 23 only for Oberlin. And I have to say this on the air. I don't know where our camera is right now, but we got to say hello to Matthew Pizzega walking along and playing sheriff's deputy out there and doing it extremely well, making sure this is a very respectful, great crowd. So he's making the easy money tonight out there for sure. We got to point out all these Southview grads that I see out there since they tore my school down. Got to point out when we see the Southview guys out there, right? But Matt Pizzega doing a great job. Also the SRO over at the JVS. So we're in the post-game show brought to you by Peace, Love, and Little Donuts. And our shooting star of the game, which is brought to you by United States Air Force. Aim high. Visit Staff Sergeant McCraven in Avon or go to airforce.com. It goes back to that Drew DeFranco guy. As I said, he hit 5 3-pointers, 3 2-pointers, gets 21 points on the game. And I think you've got some more stats that not only from Mr. DeFranco, but from the rest of the team with Max Drummond coming in to give us a little more of the stats report today.
That I do. So starting on that winning Midview side, I mean, they've forced 20 turnovers in this game, and that was really what got them off to such a fast start. And from downtown, 9 of 14. I mean, that's really efficient, and it's doing it in a very quick fashion. As those 3-pointers, they obviously add up so quickly. And then also Steve Komar, in addition to his 9 points, also getting 8 rebounds in total, 7 of those on the offensive side. Just a fantastic effort from him down low and really taking advantage of the size that they had. We knew that going in, and they did not disappoint with that. I will say Oberlin on their side, to their credit, they were able to go 4 of 10 from 3. So when they got those opportunities to shoot the threes, they did hit it at a 40% rate.
Yeah, you mentioned 9 out of 14 from 3-point range, and all the 3-pointers that were made were taken by Ethan Elbert or Drew DeFranco. And you know, when you don't have a number 5 on the front of your jersey, it makes it hard for me to pick out the guys from the crowd. I'm not good at that kind of stuff. But Drew DeFranco joining us now on the post-game show. Happy to have you along, and I'm sure you're happy with the first week of the season, right?
Definitely.
What was good about tonight? That, I mean, obviously the score's good, but you're playing a game where you're worried about getting into the Southwestern Conference play, what's going to happen in February. What did you really like about what happened in tonight's game?
I really liked how we started compared to our first game. We started off really slow against Keystone, and today I think we just made sure that we played as hard as we could in the first quarter, and that definitely translated throughout the game and gave us a good lead. And
we talked to your coach about that. The senior leadership is something that they count on, right? You got to set the tone out there for making that happen. Is that right?
Yeah.
So what comes next for you guys? You got a couple of nice starts.
Yeah.
You've got a nice home stretch to start the season.
What
do you want to work on in practice after this game?
Definitely just our defensive sets, because depending on who we play, we obviously run different defenses, and we just got to get comfortable in everything, running man, running whatever coach has us run, and that'll definitely get us ready for Friday's game. We play Fairview, and they're a pretty good team, so.
We had Fairview on WOBL on Friday night, and they gave Firelands. They actually have a very high-powered offense. Something that did you expect to have? We're going to talk about your offense, right? Our shooting star of the game with all the points you scored, but you really drove that all from the defense, especially early in the first quarter. So what made tonight more successful for you, or is that kind of just a typical game for you?
I wouldn't say it's a typical game for me, but I think that when I play as hard as I can, and all my teammates really commit to the game plan, we all play great as a team collectively. So it's definitely not all about me. I couldn't have done it with anyone else out on the court who got all the steals. David probably had like 10 assists to me. So it comes from everyone.
And so who else, someone else, I mean, you mentioned David having the assist to you, but who else kind of stood out on the court to you tonight as far as your teammates? So you say, wow, this guy's really having a really nice night tonight.
I liked how our bigs worked on the offensive and defensive boards. I thought they fought really hard in there for me. I'm obviously a smaller guy, so I try to do my job in there, but they definitely helped me out in that area, and I think they did a great job there tonight.
And your guys' conditioning is on another level. I don't know how you're able to keep that full court press up for the whole first half and to open the third quarter. Describe your guys' practice. Is it an intense thing to make sure that happens?
So if I always think, and my coach thinks that, like, you just practice as hard as you can, and games are just that much easier. So we definitely, in practice, we don't practice that long, but every second that we're practicing, we're sprinting up and down the court. So we definitely get our conditioning up, and that starts all the way in summer with summer conditioning and all of our scrimmages. So he definitely keeps us in shape at practice.
I know you really run those officials hard in the summer league, don't you, over at Avon Lake, making us run up and down the court because that's conditioning for these guys. But obviously playing on one of the bigger courts in Lorain County makes it easier for you guys too. So you mentioned Fairview coming up. We talked about the offense they had against Firelands, but now talk about a little bit the Southwestern Conference. Where do you think the Midview Middies fit in competing in the Southwestern Conference this year, or what are the things you need to work on to compete better there?
I definitely think that we're underestimated by a lot of teams this year. A lot of teams don't know about, obviously, Ethan Elbert, who's our 6'5" guard. It's his first year coming back. He's starting right away. He's having a really good impact on our team offensively and defensively. So I think we got ranked 7th out of 8th, which I don't really think that does us justice, and I think we'll be able to show teams that we really do belong in that conference and we can compete.
Oh, I didn't even know they did that, like the preseason rankings like that for TI. Good to know. Thank you for sharing that. So Drew DeFranco we're talking to after a 64-23 win for the Midview Middies over the Oberlin Phoenix, 2-0 in the season, both non-conference games. You're not only our shooting star of the game, Drew, we want to tell you that you are Hoop Tech player of the game. Hoop Tech, where basketball meets technology, and that great honor comes with this great T-shirt. Will you be able to pick your size of what you want to get here from Lake Screen Printing, Lorain County's oldest and largest union label screen print company? Puts together our shirt here. Drew DeFranco gets the honor of wearing that one. Sport that around the Midview High School hallways, right, proudly. And hopefully we'll see you down the stretch here and get another one of those before the season's up there. I got to ask you, who'd you bring up here with you?
That's my boy Jay. That's our coach's son. We love him. He comes to almost all of our practices. He's at every game.
Well, I know when I was out at Westlake with you guys, I was saying that it was up to him to call the timeouts because he was in the coach's box. But of course, we get to bring in Coach Ravenick and get a few words with you, Coach. Obviously, a lot of smiles around Midview today with this one. But did you expect this type of game tonight?
Yeah, you never expect this type of game to win by that. But I was proud of the way our guys came out. We really stressed coming out fast tonight. I didn't think we did that on Saturday night. So we came out fast. We got a big lead, and our guys just kept playing.
And what do you attribute to the fact that you guys were able to come out fast? Just great pregame talk?
No, definitely not. Our guys, they came out focused. They came out ready to play. They were excited to get out here, get another opportunity. I think to show what they can do and try to play fast and get shots up and rebound the basketball. And they played hard tonight.
Well, and everybody wants to talk about the points and the point spread and all that, but talk about this guy next to you, the defense that he played, especially in that first quarter. That really just set the tone. It just disrupted everything Oberlin was trying to do on offense.
Yeah, we came up pressing. Two guys, Drew and David, both at the top of our zone and at the top of our press, did a great job of getting their hands on some passes, got some deflections, which led to some easy ones, which I think really set us in and really we're able to knock down shots from there.
And tell us the story a little bit about Ethan Elbert. I know we were talking about how he made the free throws on Saturday. He comes out dropping threes today, but he didn't play for a couple of years, right? So what was the whole background and story on that of how you got him back on the court this year?
Yeah, to be honest, he played as a freshman. It was good for us. Was off our radar. I had no clue he was playing, and then Drew and David did some recruiting for us, and they came in and said, hey, I think Ethan's going to play. I said, really? All right, cool. Let's see if he comes to tryouts. He came to tryouts, gave it a shot, and he's done a nice job. He's going to continue to get better. Still a little lost out there at times, but towards the end of the season, we think he's going to continue to grow and be a big piece for us. He already has been.
It doesn't appear that much when you win by 41, right? That's for sure. So, Coach, appreciate you being here. You have something for us, Max, that you wanted to follow up on the game on?
Yeah, I wanted to say Ethan Elbert and then obviously a lot of other guys, they were hitting a lot of threes, even some contested ones. Going into the game plan tonight, was the green light kind of activated, or was that just if the shots were there, take them?
Yeah, if the shots are there, we feel like we have some guys who can knock down shots. We just want the best shot as a team, whether it's Drew hitting open threes or throwing the ball inside to Bryson and Steve. Whatever the defense gives us, we want to take. We're good when we're not going to come and say, hey, we're going to shoot 20 threes tonight, we're going to throw it in the post. We're good when we let the defense dictate our offense dictate what we do. So just happy with how we responded. I don't think we forced any issue tonight. I don't think David forced anything. I think he made the right play running the point for us tonight, and our guys hit shots. The game's a lot easier when you're able to put the ball in the basket. So.
Well, Coach, this was our world premiere tonight. The first time Lorain County basketball has been
awesome.
on the Lorain County Sports Network YouTube channel. So appreciate that you guys gave us a great
this is
show
awesome.
tonight. And we'll look to be having you guys back on both our Lorraine County Sports Network as well as WOBL and WDLW as your season progresses.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for coming.
Appreciate you, Coach, and appreciate this guy as well. I really like the cool little, very aggressive sailor that's on the Middies apparel here. I like that, too. And, of course, Drew DeFranco, as we mentioned, getting some additional apparel to go home with as he's our Hoop Tech player of the game and gets our Hoop Tech T-shirt from Lake Screen Printing. Also, great time to mention that one of the things that WLBO, WDLW Sports Department is involved in is that Mr. Basketball Watch. And I think we got to keep an eye on this guy, right? I mean, it's not surprising that a DeFranco name comes under the Basketball Watch list, but Nick Abraham, Illyria Ford, keeps an eye on our Mr. Basketball Watch all year. Who else tonight do you see out there, Max, besides Drew DeFranco? That's someone we got to keep an eye on for Mr. Basketball.
You know, I definitely like the play of Steve Komar. Mentioned him a lot of times. If he can continue to rack up those kind of rebound numbers, especially on the offensive side, I mean, I think that's something that's so valuable, and he is also happening to show up in the stat sheet doing it. So that dirty work is also illustrated through the box score.
And that David Moore guy is the guy we were going to mention
yeah,
once
can't
or
leave him
twice
out
throughout the year. So appreciate our friends at Nick Abraham, Illyria Ford. Shop IllyriaFord.com. Also want to be thanks to everyone who makes everything happen here. Lorraine County Community College, your year, your classes, your future. They bring you opening tip-off each time, and Rewalk Law LLC brings you our free throw line, which we weren't at the free throw line a whole lot today. And we'll talk about that as the season goes along and see how that new rule impacts that. But Rewalk Law LLC, you can call attorney Chris Rewalk for a free consultation. Also be looking at Miss Basketball Watch, and we'll be watching and listening to some Ms. Basketball tomorrow on WDLW. You can listen in as Don Vincent and Maria Janasco will be in Amherst tomorrow. That's a really good early season conference matchup. Avon taking on Amherst tomorrow night live on WDLW, so tune in for that. And then we'll be talking about Miss Basketball Watch, which is brought to you by I-90 Nissan in Sheffield, because the deals are so good. Other sponsors appreciate Ernie's Auto Body, top auto body shop in Avon, Nick Abraham Buick GMC. You can visit shopbyabraham.com, and the Lorraine County Visitors Bureau. We can't wait to see you, the Lorraine County Visitors Bureau. I'm John Guzik, along with Max Drummond, bringing you tonight's game. Final score again is Midview 64, Oberlin 23 in this non-conference game from Grafton. I appreciate Michael Allison on the camera. Make you do some extra work there on the post-game show. Appreciate that. Great job. Letting us know what's going on. And Edwin Vereen in charge of everything when it comes to directing, producing, and making sure this happens. Join us every Tuesday this basketball season. And next week, we're going to be live in Columbia Station, Ohio, as Wellington will take on the Raiders there in Columbia as we get into the Lorraine County 8 League. And going to be featuring all the teams from Lorraine County throughout this entire basketball season if you just watch here on Tuesday nights. And don't forget, like I said, tomorrow on WDLW and every Wednesday, girls basketball on WDLW. And Friday nights, we'll have both games on WDLW and WOBL. We'll be off this week because of the Christmas promotion, sit-in, freeze-in, lock-in. Make sure I get my terminology right, Max and Edwin, right? And then be back on the court side on the 15th for more live basketball as well. Appreciate all you guys here, the sponsors who make it happen. And, of course, there's no point in doing it if you're not out there watching here on the Lorraine County Sports Network. So for one final time, appreciate everyone out here. Our score again, Midview 64, Oberlin 23. Have a great night, everybody.